Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the lectern, Ms. Charita O'Dowd.
Good morning, everyone. And the protocol having been established, I just want to say thank you, first of all, to Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Antonio Ford, for the invitation. So let's jump right into it. Let's play with an idea for a second. And I'm going to ask you to take off your police hats, figuratively, of course. But imagine waking up tomorrow to Barbados with no police service. No law, no order, no accountability. Would businesses open their doors? Would children still play outside? Would people even feel safe stepping out of their homes? Or would it look more like a scene from the movie The Purge? If any of you have watched The Purge, you know chaos takes over, and the strongest, the fastest, and the most ruthless rule the streets. So take a deep breath. Thank goodness that is not our reality, because of you. And I want you to give yourselves the biggest round of applause because you have contributed so much to our country. Thank you, you may be seated. You have contributed so much to our country. And if you were waiting for ordinary Bajans to clap for you, you might be waiting forever. Can I be honest? In the Bible, the Apostle Paul said, I encourage myself. And I hope that at the end of this message, you feel empowered and motivated to know that once you are doing your best, we cannot ask for anything else. So let me share a story with you. As I was watching TV one night, I caught a glimpse of my husband's car coming towards the house. The house has white frontage, so I could see from a good distance. And instinctively, as I always do as a good wife, I got up and unlocked the door for him, and I sat back down in the corner. And as he approached the house, I heard this, what sounded like honking. But what happened, he was honking the horn so hard that the horn was struggling. What I didn't know is that as he was coming towards the house, he saw some movement behind the car in the garage. And just 5 feet away from me, outside of the house wall, was a culprit stooping down behind that vehicle, waiting for his return. So I'm there wondering, remember I can't see any of this. I'm wondering what's going on. And then he drove by the house. I was like, this is a little erratic. He turned the vehicle round swiftly and started shouting, "Lock the door!" Now folks, I am proud to say that I am an obedient wife. So without knowing what was going on, I rushed to the door and locked it. Then he started shouting expletives in the direction of the garage. And I'm like, who is he talking to?
Morning.
And ever so slowly, emerging from the shadows comes a man with a cap on, and this was just around the COVID times, a medical mask. And I, like an idiot, confused, I was like, sir, can I help you? You looking for somebody? Not realizing that he was the man that you had spent a lot of time and money looking for in the Wanstead area during a major operation that you had there. Now what blew my mind is that a normal culprit would see somebody in the area and decide to make a dash for it, right? He was so annoyed that my husband dared to challenge him that he ran to the neighbor opposite, took up an entire concrete block, broke it in the ground, and started to lurch towards my husband in the vehicle with this block. And I am there hollering blue murder, watching the scene unfold from behind burglar bars. I shouted for call the police, call the fire station, call anything. Did you think anybody looked out? Neighbor's keeper? What's that? No one looked out. The long and short of it is he lunged towards the vehicle with that block and caused some damage. But then after they played cat and mouse for a while, he decided to, divert his efforts elsewhere and he ran off. But here's what stuck with me. After watching all of that, watching that play out, we then had to go inside and call the police. And based on what I had remembered the Bajan public saying, I just sat down wondering why I was even doing that. But the police arrived. The first one came and asked me what happened. And he looked me in my eye as I told the story. The second one came, and he stood there wanting to hear the story. I remember all of them would have been working this operation night after night, so they were in the area. A third one came. He didn't care that the other two had heard the story. He talked to me and again stood there as I give a whole play-by-play. And I was like, wait a minute. They are actually interested in what I have to say. There was a sense of empathy, a sense of caring. This can't be the police that Bajan's talking about. And we honestly went to sleep at peace because they settled us, they reassured us. Granted, no major violence had happened. But my experience was, these are not the policemen that Bajans are trying to give a bad rap. Furthermore, I remember that the next day, an Inspector Roach called to check in. And that taught me quite a bit. You see, you have to understand that because of the badge you wear, because of the oath you took, because every single day, despite the dangers, despite the challenges, you show up, it helps civilians like me truly feel protected, more than you know. And today, as we celebrate 190 years of the Barbados Police Service, I want us to do more than just look back. I want us to look within and ahead. I want you to stop seeing your job as just a job. Yes, I said it. I want you to start remembering that your job is indeed a calling. You may trick yourself into thinking, well, I saw a vacancy and I applied. No. Nobody just does that. You were called to this assignment. And you answered that call, a call in which you give your highest service to your countrymen. And we can't belittle that. Because while history honors what you've built, the future depends on how you see yourselves and what you are willing to change. So let's talk about that. You are something, you are part of something greater than yourself. And as I said here, this force is built on sacrifice, discipline, and commitment to justice. You see, your uniform carries the weight of that history, but tradition alone doesn't make a great police service. Transformation does. And I want us to look at that because that's going to help us to shift our mindset a bit. You see, policing is changing. The world is changing. And if we're being honest, the days of just enforcing laws are long gone. Today, people don't just need officers, they need leaders, they need protectors who also know how to connect. Now hear me out, I don't want you to stop policing, please don't. And I must say, in recent times, looking on, I have felt like criminals are getting caught faster than ever before. And sadly, the Bajan public isn't going to clap for you for that. So I had to come here and tell you that. I see it. And I'm proud of your efforts because I know that sometimes you work in some unsafe environments and immerse yourself in some trouble spots. And it's not easy. And those in the field have been trying. I see you. And those behind the desk making sure that everything is in order. For those out there, I see you too. Don't think that we don't see you. Their role, your role, the role of all of you is critical into keeping Barbados the destination that it is and just an overall safe space. So here's where the transformation comes. Let me share a little story. And don't judge me. I'm kind of the criminal in this story. Don't judge me. So I was on the road, and I'm a realtor, so at some point, and this was in Lowlands, I took up my phone as I was driving, to look at my GPS. And one of you caught me. Whoop, whoop. Darn it. I pulled over, and sure enough, Mr. Officer on his bike comes for me. But you know what? I said, you know what? He has a job to do, so let me not fight it. What he didn't know is that in the back of the vehicle were my 1-year-old and my 3-year-old. And when I looked back at them, their eyes were wide open because a policeman had just got off a bike to, as far as they were concerned, arrest their mother. The hollering, the wailing and gnashing of teeth. I don't need to tell you. When the officer turned up and looked through my window, he was as much in shock as I was. And I said, officer, listen, I know you got a job to do, so you can deal with me later, but right now, we gotta work on them. Because I can't let them be traumatized by this image they have in their mind and then leave there with PTSD that all cops are bad. And what I loved is that the officer opened the door, he reached in, and in tandem we worked on these two little boys. He shook their hands, he wiped the tears, he calmed them down. Now don't get tired, he dealt with me afterwards. But the point is, those little boys looked on at him as, wow, the hero. And that image always stayed with me because he was the empathetic, perhaps, father. The empathetic human being. For one moment, he was able to put down the hat of being the law enforcer and became the empathizer. And that is what I want you to remember as you go along the highways and byways doing your business. Empathy, connection, trust. I mean, look at what's happening around the world. In Spain, there's a group of officers that every week, they don't just check in on this elderly woman. They group together and buy groceries for her. Why? Because it makes them feel good. And they feel fulfilled. In Canada, there's a police unit that doesn't just arrest troubled youth, they mentor them, guiding them towards a better path before they ever see the inside of a holding cell. And I already see your community outreach efforts here aiming towards those goals and doing, so much beyond what we are even aware of. And this is the kind of transformation that must happen here, that must continue. You see, it's not just about catching criminals. It's about preventing crime. It's not just about control. It's about connection. Remember, I spoke about how the officers dealt with my husband and I after that incident. It's not just about enforcing laws. It's about earning trust. Look at how you handled my boys. But let me be real with you. Change starts from within. And that brings me to your value. You see, to refuel you, I have to remind you of your worth. Because in the 246, you live in a hypocritical society where you don't hear applause from us often. And sometimes you could go home at night feeling very beaten up and frustrated. You are the guardians of stability. But how stable are you? You see, Barbados needs you. Without you, everything falls apart. But let's talk about you, though. Are you stable? I mean, by a show of no hands, are you fighting battles that no one sees? And some of you go home at night and battle addiction, whether it's alcohol, gambling, or something else that's got its grip on you. Because you're only human. The force is a microcosm of the world. Some of you are living a double life. One face for the uniform, another behind closed doors. And some of you bury yourselves in work to avoid facing your own problems. But let me tell you something, you can't enforce peace if you're living in personal chaos. And that's something that we don't talk about it often. You have to take care of yourself. You must hold yourself accountable because the stability of this nation depends on the stability of its protectors. You are the heart of the community. But what's in your heart? The way you treat people matters. There's some of you on the front line who may be a victim's first point of contact, whether it's in the station or on the outside. I need you to pull out your empathy for that first interaction. Whether you believe it or not, it is meaningful. Every action, every word, every decision you make in uniform shapes how the public views the service. So what do they see? Do they see someone fair, level-headed, and patient? Or do they see someone short-tempered, cold, and hard? Listen to me, if the job has made you bitter, if your frustration is spilling into your home life, if the people you love the most feel like they have to walk on eggshells around you, then something has to change. Because power without compassion is dangerous, and strength without kindness is reckless. And if you want the people to trust you, they must first deserve that trust. Thirdly, you are the future of this nation, and that means breaking the cycle. If we want a stronger, more respected police service in the future, it starts with what you do today. That means fixing what's broken in yourselves before we can fix what's broken in the streets. That means having the courage to say, I need help, when life starts to feel too heavy. And the strongest officers aren't the ones who bottle everything up. The strongest officers are the ones who refuse to let their personal battles become their downfall. So as we close today, I want to leave you with something that echoes long after this room empties. Something that lives not just in your memory, but in your mindset. It's the acronym BAIL. Don't panic, don't panic. Not the courtroom type of bail. You remember? But here's the beauty of it. I don't just want you to go back to the beginning to stir up your passion when you're feeling a little bit empty in the tank. But I want you to see every single day as the opportunity to begin again. You see, your beginning is not just the day you join the force, but every moment you choose courage over comfort, integrity over indifference, and service over self. Every shift that you work is a fresh page. Every choice is a new sentence, and you get to be the author of that story. Let's look at A for accountability. Wearing the badge isn't just about enforcing the law, it's about living by a higher one. Can I get an amen? One where accountability starts within. You are not just accountable to your unit, lest you forget, or your superiors. You are accountable to the people who look to you for protection, to the child who watches you walk by and sees you as a hero and wonders what kind of man you are or woman you are. But you are also the person who looks into the mirror and asks, did I do right today? Imagine if you did that at the end of each shift. Did I do right today? And you were able to check yourself and know that, you know what, tomorrow I have to adjust accordingly. Real power is being able to hold yourself to the standard you expect of others, even when no one is watching. Impact. No, I need you all to repeat that after me. I is what? Yes. Your presence changes lives even in silence. Your words can calm chaos, and your actions can restore trust. Impact isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the hand on the shoulder, the respectful tone in a tense moment, the choice to de-escalate, or the decision to protect and not provoke. You see, you may never know the full ripple effect of what you do, but know this. Every moment you lead with heart leaves a mark that can last a lifetime. And then let's look at L, legacy. When the badge is hung up and the lights stop flashing, what will they remember about you? And I'm here to reiterate again, don't worry about the public bashing you all the time. They didn't like Jesus either. But the same way he had his face set like flint about his father's business, when you suit up, I want you to be all about the mission. Don't get sidetracked. Don't get distracted by calling programs and memes and all this different stuff. Ask the people doing that, why are you not here in my position? Trying to keep law, order, and standards in this country. They can't do it. You see, you are the part of the elite, the select few that dare to take on the challenge. And for that, you need to be proud. Your legacy isn't in your rank or your record. Some of you have got it wrong. It's in your respect, your relationships, and your righteousness. It's in how you make people feel on the street, in your unit, in your community. You see, legacy isn't what you leave behind, it's what you leave within. And you are writing it right now. Be reminded that your mission is about policing, but above all, about being a good human being. So when the pressure rises, when the world feels too heavy, when the mirror stares back with questions, remember to bail. B-A-I-L. Begin again. Give yourself that permission. Be accountable. Make an impact. And leave a legacy. Because beyond the badge, beyond the uniform, you are the heartbeat of this nation. And Barbados is better because you chose to serve. The transformation of the Barbados Police Service doesn't start with policies or politics. It starts with you. Individually, each of you is a part of the story. And I'm going to leave with you a challenge. Yes, you've got homework, a 24-hour challenge. When you leave from here today, I want you to write down what you want people to say about you. It's not a eulogy. What do you want people to say about you? What's the legacy you want to leave behind? And then I want you to look at your current situation. Be true to yourself. What adjustments can you make? Which areas can you improve on? What bad habits can you cut out of your life? I want you to give yourself a true heart check and examination. You have 24 hours, and I will find you and see if you did your homework. So folks, in conclusion, what will your chapter say? If you want a better Barbados Police Service, remember you're doing well so far. Stay encouraged, stay the course, keep going. And in order to write that chapter and have perhaps 190 years more, you need to remember that the pen is in your hands. I am Sharita Odell. Thank you so much for your service.